I needed to hide my identity.
After last week's episode.
Yeah, but also have a really, really, really massive news, which could put me and my family in danger. So from now on, we'll be wearing these masks. The news that I'm going to drop is, you're going to hear it first here, but it'll spread like wildfire. And I think it's probably the most influential piece of knowledge humanity has ever been exposed to. Sean's a bitch.
Fucking idiot. Like, where the fuck is this guy going with this shit?
Too hot, I can't do it.
God damn it.
I love you, Sean. You're the man.
I actually was talking, I told you about my mate Dion, and he listened to our episode about equality.
See, the thing about Dion is I keep hearing his name,
Yeah.
But I never see a picture. It is not in your phone book.
Bro, you're married. Come on. He's one of the first ones to listen to our podcast, and actually, you know, he gave us feed. Like, he was like on it and supported it straight away. I think our first rating on Spotify would have been him. He actually really enjoyed our conversation, but I agree with him. Some of the things that we started on, we didn't really dive into. And this was one of them, man, because I feel like we've gone and messed up the moving forward, right? And now there's so much hate. So once upon a time, it was like, all right, let's move forward. Let's fight for human rights. Let's fight for gay rights. Let's fight for equal rights for females. We've gone from misogyny, right, pulling it back, and now we've got misandry.
Is there an equal version of misogyny on the other side?
Yeah, so there's misandry.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called.
I didn't know that.
It's called misandry.
You don't hear that.
How are you fighting that fight for female rights by dragging down men? Black Panthers used to say, you can't fight racism with racism.
They said that?
Yeah. So, same thing. You can't fight for female rights, right, by trying to take away male rights. I saw a video of a guy walking past a camera. There was a girl recording, or a lady recording in front of like a wall. I think it might have been like a Bollywood interview or something like that. And you know how sometimes people are in their phone, they're just fucking oblivious to what's going on around them. There's a couple of guys are walking past the camera, not even realizing, right? And this lady, one guy walks past, she's like, oh, and the next guy goes and she slaps him on the shoulder. Flip that script.
What was the context? What was happening?
Because he walked in front of the camera. She's like, wake up, we're doing a little interview here, right?
Oh, right.
So she's having a go on it. And yeah, she hit him on the shoulder as he's walking past. It's like the guy was, he didn't even know. He didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, right.
Right? He just walked past. Roles reversed. A man slaps a woman walking past the camera for getting in the way. He is going to be crucified, right? That is abuse. Everything will come at you for it, right? What I saw on that was people defending it as like, oh, like that guy walked in front of the camera, he had no respect.
Oh, so it was his fault.
It's his fault now. And it's like whatever we do, we can't get right. I'm not saying all females are like that. And it's just, it's the same flip side of the coin. Not all men are misogynists, right? But you got this thing where it's like there has been a long time coming where females didn't have equal rights. And we've fought for it. Males have fought for it. Males were on board to bring it up and be like, yeah, they need equality as well. You can't now start coming at us, right? And I'm not saying all females. It's like, again, whenever I talk, I talk about general kind of things that I see happening, and it's not to cause a divide. I'm all about bringing people together. But in order to bring people together, it's like you can't keep fighting hate with hate. Equal rights for women. So if we're talking about lawyers, doctors, professions, right? Man and woman, right? Same degree, same intellect, same ability to do a job. Okay? Should be same pay. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. They were talking about equal pay in, I think it was female football. There was a lady who was talking about how much the pay divide was. So there was a massive difference between the female and the male. Massive, right? And she goes, I don't know how you can justify it. The male person on the panel said, I can. And straight away, without even hearing his opinion, they went at him. So his point of view, and I completely agree with it, right, is when you're watching a sport, a viewership, right? If you're drawing more viewers in, your pay is going to be increased.
Yeah.
If more people are watching men's
business.
football or men's basketball, those athletes are going to get paid more. They're driving in more viewerships.
You go to a doctor and your kid's dying. We're talking when shit hits the fan.
Yep.
Your kid's dying and you go in. Do you go, all right, I need a black man, but he needs to be this certain height because they're underclass, and needs to be a certain weight because that's a minority, and they need to speak certain languages because blah, blah. I want that doctor. Or do you go, I want the fucking best.
Yep.
I want the best doctor. I don't care if they're men or women or gay or straight. I want the best.
Yep.
And when that becomes the point of your sort of, your decision making, that's because those people have worked harder to become the best.
Yep.
They should be rewarded by it.
Mm-hmm.
When you create a society like that, the people who work hard go, why do I work hard? Why should I work hard? Then you get a society that kind of slowly goes into a slope and decline, because the people who work hard, I'm going to find a different way to make money. I'm going to find a different way to incentivize my abilities and make a living for myself, but also contribute to society. So this is my point. Equal outcome, it don't work.
Yep.
It's been established in history. It's been established. It will, there's a good point that Jordan Peterson mentioned in one of his interviews with regards to the Scandinavian countries, where they said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put a rule in that you get to choose what you want to do, and we're going to pay you equal rights. And guess what happened? When they had the choice of doing the jobs they wanted to do, it turned into women going for nursing jobs, which paid a little bit less than engineering jobs. So what you're interested, you become better in. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that there's an unequal pay and there's an issue there, then it's a sexist issue and there's a power struggle there. Not in that experiment. Now, are there places in the world that's like that? Fuck yeah, man.
You were talking about something in the car.
I was saying, I was watching this video. It was on back in the day. Cher, the singer, was on it, and I sent it to one of my mates. I was like, "Liz," and Oprah's asking, "Oh, what about the men in your life?" And then she goes, "Men? Who fucking needs them?" And then it cuts to literally with this awesome music with these men carrying people out of fucking fires and building plumbing works and electricity works and all this stuff that you'd use every day.
Yep.
That's the contribution of men. You can't just throw that away.
Yeah.
Okay. And just say, I'm not saying just because they do that, they're better. What I'm saying is you can't just turn against that and say, well, we don't need half the population anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck the half the population. It's half the
Exactly.
population of the world, dude. You can't just minimize
That's
another human just because of their XY chromosome. It's so
and
anti.
I guess this comes down to
equality.
Again, equality, but honesty. If you want equality, it goes both ways. All right. So saying who needs them, and then you get people who might be clapping.
Yeah, they loved it.
Yeah. And if a male said that, it would be booze, right? So there's a narrative there. You got to not keep trying to flip the script, right? If you want equality, it's let's talk same playing field, right? And you can't deny something. It's not. And here's another thing: people will say women can do those jobs, helping with firefighters and that. And I'm not saying they can't.
Some can,
right?
but they don't want. Some don't want to.
But the facts are the majority are men. History says that, right? And yes, history is also on a timeline of where men had more rights, right? We're coming back from an era where females didn't really get a say or a foot in the door and all that. But it's different now. Females can be cops, females can be firefighters, but they're still majority men. There's less females going for that type of
That's
work.
what I'm talking about. The Scandinavian experiment is that once they get given an equal choice to do what they wanted to do, the experiment in those countries, which is as egalitarian as you can get in the world at the moment, and they're social countries, social oriented countries, and what happened was they reverted into their sort of traditional roles, and that was the experiment. Everyone, I think choice is important.
Yeah.
Equality of opportunity, that's what that means.
Yep.
Being allowed to play the game that you want to play in.
Yep.
Everyone should be allowed in the door. You should never have someone go, you're not allowed here.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with it saying, all right, yeah, more men do that. That's fine. The argument doesn't have to be women can do it. We know you can. Yeah. Right?
Well,
but men do it.
Certain things you can't do. Okay, as good as men, and they're generally physically oriented jobs. You can't do as because it requires more. It's not your fault. We got more testosterone. There's more muscle. There's more strength. Not all men are equal. Not all women are equal. Some women are stronger than men.
I had the same conversation with my daughters 2 days ago, right? And they were asking me about that. So I said to them, "There's nothing wrong with admitting that the male body is physically stronger." In general, I'm not stronger than every female out there. I've said this to my daughters. There are females out there that are way stronger than me. So not every man is stronger than any
Most
female.
females are stronger than you.
Thanks, bro. But it's just genetics. So it's not saying and that's not a bad thing. That's just the way that's the way the genes are.
Yeah.
Right?
It's genetics, but to your point, we are judging based on what we are incapable of adding to ourselves. Like if you're born short,
yep.
All right, you can't grow taller by working really hard. It's and if you're born beautiful, that's just something that was given to you. It's not a point of pride.
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't be a point of pride. It's a point of pride when you build something out of yourself. That's in your abilities, and we don't have to all have equal abilities in everything.
We don't have equal abilities.
We don't. I can't become a professional basketball player, it's just not in my ability. So it doesn't mean that I'm less than black people,
Yeah.
That's a joke. My point is that's genetics. You can't judge based on genetics. You should judge based on what contribution each individual is able to give to society, what value they bring. That's what you judge on. And based on pay, you should be judged on what value you bring your company.
100%.
You shouldn't, someone works 20 hours a week and someone works 100 hours a week. The person who works 20 hours a week, you're going to pay him equal because of their gender now? It makes zero sense.
Exactly.
I mean, it's so common sense, but the fact that we're talking about this, it's actually stupid.
It is. No, I just feel, okay. So I guess my point is it just comes down to, let's be honest about the conversation, right? And not make everything a fight, right? We fought for females to have a voice, and I fucking support it, okay? I've always supported it. I said it in the previous podcast. I've always supported feminism. Just because someone says men have built the city, or there are more construction workers, or there are more firefighters, that's not saying women can't do it. I'm not a firefighter.
Yeah.
Right? I can't be one. I ain't got the strength to do it. There's fucking probably 10,000 females that are stronger than me to become one. Right? So you can do it. Not saying we're better. We're saying statistics show that there are more men that do it.
I mean, there's certain industries that men, can't be, be as good and can't be as effective and can't add as much value. And that's, do you hear men going, why the fuck are they getting paid more? Modeling. Simple example. The top 10 women and the top 10 men, if you put their numbers next to each other, the women are making a lot more money. Why? Because it's an industry based on beauty. Generally, women are more beautiful. Yep. And it's an industry based on looks, and it's how you wear fashion, and it's that kind of thing. And there's more eyeballs on women there. They bring more business in. They should get paid more.
Yep.
They shouldn't be, that there's no question there. And so for me, that's a simple answer. That it doesn't have to be so politically a hot topic. I mean, it just to me is common sense. And if I'm getting it wrong, or I'm offending someone for saying that, I'd love to hear thoughts on comments and stuff. I'd love to hear counterpoints, and I'll change my mind. But for me, all I wanted in my industry, there was a turning point.
Yep.
Generally speaking, good-looking white dudes were getting all the roles,
Yep.
right, as actors.
Yep.
and talented, but generally there were other people who may have been more talented that weren't getting it because it was like, well, do people really want to see that person on screen? No, we want to see this person on screen. And acting is a hard industry to judge because it's not like you work a certain amount of hours and you get to this level. You could be really talented and still it's subjective. It's not super objective that everyone agrees this person's the best. But generally speaking, it just wasn't much representation. That turned, but it's starting to turn a little bit ugly where, people would go, well, you are the best choice. You are the best choice, but we have to tick this box in order to get money from this company. So in order to do that, we have to get rid of you, even though you're more talented, you work harder. We can't do that because we have to tick this box.
Yeah.
When you're giving a painter a bunch of colors to paint with, and then slowly you go, you know what? We don't like yellow anymore. We don't like the color yellow. You can't paint with yellow. Actually, we can't paint with white either. You can only allow to paint with red and black. You're going to get only a certain type of painting.
Yep.
With certain type of colors. Maybe it's a bad example, but you understand the context there, right?
Yep.
And instead of saying, here's the variety of colors, just give us the best. Give us the best and put you against the best. And just based on merit. Let's go based on merit. That's our judgment. That's my problem with this. Merit has become secondary to things you can control, like the color of your skin. It's become second to that. That's when you see it sort of the arts, I think, are getting damaged by that. They're suffering by it. Yeah.
A person's opinion, right, is come to be from their experiences, their life experiences, the people they've been around, and what they've all gone through in life. And that's the beauty of being an individual, right? So being female, being male, being black, being white, being Asian, whatever it is you are, the beauty of it is that we're all unique, right? So everybody is just got to stop looking for reasons to fight about being different, right?
We used to celebrate our differences.
Yeah.
Now it's the other way.
Yeah.
We demonize our differences. We weaponize our differences. Anything that you disagree with, well, that person's racist. Just stick them with a term and send them along the way. And that's, what are you trying to achieve there? Do you really want a better world, or do you really want to damage a person's reputation and who they are, and get a feeling like that yucky but good feeling for a moment, but it's actually because you feel powerful. But really what you're doing is damaging yourself by doing that. You're hating on yourself. Yeah. We're all connected.
Yes.
You can't get away from it, man. We're all energies and we're all connected. And under the skin, we have the same color. It's fucking red. And so let's go with that. Stop monetizing this shit. And the moment, and each individual has power. Stop paying for it.
Yeah.
And the attitude of corporations will change. Be wary of what you're spending your money on and what their ethos is. You go to a company to buy your clothes and their ethos is a certain ethos. Don't buy their shit. And then when they ask why, you say, because this is the way you're going. This is the direction. And I don't want to live in a world. I don't want my kids to grow up in a world where our differences is weaponized. I want to live in a world where our differences is celebrated. Which was when we came to Australia. That's one of the things when we came to citizenship. When we became a citizen, we had our citizenship. It was one of the lines. In Australia, we celebrated our differences.
Yeah. When I came to Australia, I went to a Catholic school, and that's the only people that went there, Catholics, right? When my daughter went to school, I wanted her to go to a public school that had no religion attached to it, because I wanted her to mix with Catholics, atheists, Muslims, of all people, of all races, and get to know people for individuality, right? Going to grow up knowing people and understanding people better, right? We no longer, like you said, we no longer celebrate our differences. We persecute people for them.
Yeah.
Like, we all get this life one time, right? And everything that we do, like, think about it. Everything that we do, you try to find a job. You want to be an actor. You got to go through trial and error, man. You can't be the best actor on day one, right? You got to go through trial and error. Anything you do is trial and error. So life, You get one shot in it, and you are going to go through fucking trials and errors, right? So I was telling you about this guy, Jackson Miles. Young guy, man, right? And he's been on Instagram and TikTok. A great dancer, man. Awesome dancer. And he used to come out with all these little reels, and I used to watch him, man. Like, they're fucking great. He did all these moves to, like, Michael Jackson, whatever song's trending. Come out with some great moves, and then he'd have people that he'd dance with as well. He got millions of followers based off of that alone. He decided to change up what he was doing. He wasn't happy in it. So that's a big thing for me as well. If you're not happy on what you're doing, change what you're doing. Do what you love, because if you get one shot at life and you're going to a job every fucking day and you're unhappy, right? 8 hours you spend at that job unhappy, an hour to get there, even more in this day and age, traffic's fucking ages. So just say an hour and a half to get to work 8 hours, an hour and a half to get back. We're looking at 11 hours of your day doing something you don't fucking like. Then you spend 8 hours of that sleeping. That's 19 hours of your day. You got 5 hours spare to do what? Eat, cook, clean?
Shit.
Doing all that shit, right? So if you're doing that every day and you're not fucking happy, then your life, majority of your life, is fucking miserable. No wonder we got fucking depression eating us all alive, right? So we got this kid. I'll get back to this story. We've got this kid. And I say kid, he's an adult. He's not fucking 15. He's probably in his 20s. He's young though, early 20s. He's decided to flip the script on his life. He's not happy doing what he was doing. He wants to try and make a go for something else. Leaves his parents' home. He goes to LA, trying to find opportunities to go there, make his own music. And he changed up his Instagram. He deleted all the videos that he used to do, and he starts posting videos of him dancing to his own music. People are tearing him down on social media because they don't like his songs. Look, you don't have to love his songs. It's not my vibe. I don't listen to it and go, that's a banger. Respect that he's doing it on his own. But you got him hating. You got people saying, you're just trying to troll your way, or like you're just trying to market yourself as homeless because he's living out of his car and crashing at friends' places and stuff like that. Trying to market yourself as homeless to have a cool backstory. The kid ain't doing that. The kid's going out on his own. He's trying to do something for himself, make himself happy. He's trying something. Whether it's the right way to do it, whether he's marketing himself the right way or not, he's there, he's young, he's got to make his mistakes. Why the fuck are we tearing him down?
These people have no other fucking things that they could spend their time on. And they're wasting their time commenting in the comment, just feeling like they have some power. We love the underdog story. We love it until the underdog becomes, someone, and then we tear them down because we don't like people who become something. So anyone that you know that became something was an underdog at some point.
Yeah, 100%.
And we love that story, but we don't love it when it's after the success.
Yeah,
we kind of want to tear it down. We kind of want them to fall, and it's this bizarre mass jealousy type thing. I don't know what it is, but it's not healthy.
It's not. He's not out there marketing himself on the streets begging for money, right? He's not hiding from what he's doing.
Is he a victim? Is he acting like a victim?
Acting like a victim. He's acting like a kid who's gone to LA. He has lived in his car, right? He makes videos. He's not hiding that he's making videos with a nice camera. He's essentially telling the truth, right? He's left his parents' home to go to LA and follow his dreams and try to make something of himself. Whether that works or not, that's on him. That's his life. That's his choices. He's going to make his mistakes. He's going to make his trials. He's going to make his errors, or he's going to make his successes, right? That's on him.
Yeah, I don't get this hate.
So I don't understand the hate. Let him make his success or failures based on the decisions that he wants to do. But if he's happy, why the fuck are you tearing down his happiness?
I don't get it. I've been in the same shoe. That story I told you the other time about the $20. Yeah. It's not like I didn't have a house to go back to. I was lucky enough that I could have left this city and go. But in order to get something, you got to lose something. You got to lose a part of yourself that's old, that's dragging you down. Even though it seems like comfort, And comfort is the enemy of success. Everyone knows it, but they don't want to actually do it. To do it, it takes a lot. And a lot of people don't succeed, and they become vengeful, and they become jaded, okay? And that happens to them. And it's like, usually when you can't control people, what you want to do is control the opinion of others and on you. And that's how you get to control them. And it's that sense is so in us, so innate, because you've now stepped outside of the community. Why do you want to be different? You know, why aren't you like me? Like, we don't like that too much, but also we celebrate it when it succeeds, because we're like, wow, look what they did. It's a bizarre two-edged sword. If I was sitting with the kid and I was like, and he was talking to me about it and he's feeling, I'm like, don't look at the comments. Keep doing what you're doing. You're getting some followers. Great. Use it as a business to your advantage and stay true. You can't lie to yourself when you sleep at night. There's no one there. It's just you, yourself, and your God, or whatever you believe in. You know the truth. You know, you can be, you know, you can put a facade on for someone else, but if you put it on for yourself, then you're losing.
Yeah.
So if the kid is being honest with himself, don't listen to the hate.
Let's put it this way. He went from being very successful. He had an agency and everybody marketing him. He had a lot of followers. He had a lot of sponsorships. He's doing his own thing. He's lost his sponsorships.
Based on the fact that he's
no longer doing what they're asking him to do. He's not he's not dancing to well-known music. He's trying something on his own. He's losing all that. When you have all of that and you give it up, you must be giving it up for a reason.
Yeah, you're sacrificing because you see it. You have a vision that you're chasing. Yeah. Dude, a lot of people can't even, in their whole lifetime, this is what's so sad. A lot of people in their whole lifetime aren't able to verbalize their vision. Not to even verbalize it. They haven't even sat down for an hour, let alone a year, to think about what is it that I can do in this world that's worth doing and that I have that I can do, and set out certain goal and criteria for yourself and hit those goals. And like, that's the only way this thing works.
Yeah.
So if the kid's doing that, I don't get the fuss. I mean, I don't know the story you told me about. I was so confused by it. I'm like, so he's not being a victim. He's doing his thing. Anyway, good for him, and wish him the best. And I hope he fucking shows him, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a real underdog story there.
Underdog story. Yeah.
Digging into a little bit of this idea, I've been really meditating on alchemizing yourself. The idea of alchemy. So you've read the book Alchemy?
No, man.
Oh, it's a great book. Brazilian author. Can't remember. It's Paul or something. Great book. It's about a kid who works at a shop, but he has this vision that he wants to be more and do more. And he is about this wise man who is able to alchemize material like metals into gold. And he's like, how do you do that? I want to do that. So he goes on this journey to find this man and learn from him. It's a beautiful story. But the end of the story, he realizes the practice of alchemy is actually within oneself. That's the true meaning of alchemy. I was doing a film, and I was fasting at the time, and I was meditating a lot, and I was in this zone. And this, sometimes you get this vision and you go, it's so clear to you. It's like a calling.
Yeah.
I got it. And I was like, I make lists every day about like to-do lists, and I set goals, but I never really thought about alchemizing the list.
Yeah.
And so I fell into this pattern, which was really, really effective. I was able to change my life instantly doing this practice. And basically the idea is this. It's my theory. You set it's simple to-do task for yourself. Like you write down, okay, today I have to clean my room.
Yep.
Simple task. You can clean your room, or you verbalize it by alchemizing what that means. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I want to clean my room, you say, I want to create a space that is full of abundance.
Fuck, I like that. All right.
So now you've taken your goal and you've alchemized it. You've made it the best version of the goal.
Yep.
You do that with everything. all of a sudden you evolve from being just a human to a noble human.
Yeah.
And I hit that point, man. And I was like, holy shit, you can do that with simple tasks.
Yeah.
You don't have to aim for like $3 million. And if I don't, instead of saying I want $3 million by the end of the year, or whatever the number is, you go, I want to establish this particular thing I'm good at. And I want to add value to people doing this. It's alchemizing. The 3 million, man, it will come in 10 times fold. I'm telling you. This idea is so powerful, very hard to do consistently. So it requires a lot of discipline. But the idea is that, and I've termed it to alchemize.
Yeah.
It's like a key I hit for a while. It's finding the zone. And you got to kind of, once you find the zone, you got to realize how you find the zone, what it feels like when you're in it, and how do you keep not plateauing? How do you keep growing? It's very difficult because we go dips and flows and attention grabbing.
Yeah.
You know, everything, you lose focus.
Yeah.
But so with the idea of alchemy was really interesting to me.
I fucking love that. The way you put that. The cleaning the room example, that was fucking articulate, man.
Yeah, well, I've been really thinking about that again and really wanting to put it into practice again. So, and what I realize is that it's about, we don't know what our capacity is as humans. We can never guess. If you put a ceiling on your abilities in whatever domain you have, by that, put a ceiling on top of it.
Yeah.
You have not realized your capacity. In order to do that, you have to keep alchemizing your actions and going, what is the highest point that I can reach in this particular, that I can verbalize? It's very important to be able to verbalize it. And that's the trick. So it requires a bit of practice. But I would, if anyone's listening, I would next time, instead of you doing your to-do list, think a little bit harder about what is really the highest aim within that particular action you're going to do, and aim for that and see where that takes you. And a lot of doors and windows will open that you never even were able to even imagine looking at, let alone, you know, having in a sphere of thought.
Yeah.
It's really it's an amazing thing I've realized. And I think I'm not the only one, but it really hit home for me when I dug into it a little bit more. What's going to happen is people are going to create schools that are going to be different. This is a point of evolution. We have hit a plateau with the level of knowledge we can gain doing it the way we've done it for the past 100 years. And I think what's going to happen is eventually people with money, there's something about Elon Musk creating a school. I'm not saying, I don't know what his school is about, but more people are going to do that, where they go, the current system is failing us. We are not going forward as a species. And what can we do? Change the way we educate our children, right? And make it more inclusive in terms of the way that, currently it's like we're adding shit to already stifled system. Like the HR department in schools have certain criteria for teaching now that includes wokeism in it. That's happened in Australia now. It's like, what is the point of that? What are we doing here? You know, already our public schools are based on a Russian system that was meant to create children who would go into industrial workforces, because we needed industrial workforce because the industrial revolution was happening. We're still part of the same system. We're just creating mice that work. We're not creating individuals where potentials can be reached. We're not tapping into individual potentials. We're just going, you wonder.
Same fucking thing to each person. Yeah.
That's why I was never good at certain subjects, because there's certain subjects I didn't have any ability in them. I wasn't talented in them. And the subjects that I may have been good at weren't even on the criteria of being taught, you know. And in schools, we don't even talk about, like, for example, how to make money, how to create a wealth.
Yep.
Isn't that part of schooling? Shouldn't that be that it becomes the most important thing when you become an adult, because you realize, holy shit, I have no skill in this.
Yep.
Like, I go into the workforce, I'm like, because you don't want that. The companies want people who work for them. They don't want competition.
So many people now are starting their own businesses. There's fucking entrepreneurs everywhere. There's no fucking teaching for that.
No, they drop out usually. They're dropouts because it's a waste of fucking time. I spent $40,000-$50,000 in an education that I never even practiced one day because I knew that I wasn't good at it. But it was the only thing I could potentially see myself doing. It's nothing that I was interested in, and there was no one there going, "Hey, Jimmy, let me test you in certain things, and oh wow, you're really good at this particular thing." It should become something that's individualized in terms of the criteria for each talented person. What are they interested in? What do the kids want to do? And then you test them based on that, and you navigate their talent, and so they're effective and they're also happy because they go into the workforce doing what they love doing, and then you've supplemented that with the system, right? Yep. For example, when the white settlers came in and they brought the European education system, and the Aboriginals kids were forced to be taught under that system. Most of them did really poorly, and the narrative was, well, they're it's because they're Aboriginal, they're backwards, they're black. It was very racist and very, very offensive. And the same kids in the bush, right? Different type of education, and if they were tested based on those skills, based on how they interact with community, story time, elders, dream time, all those things. If they were that was the criteria for the test, they would be doing amazingly. They would flourish, and they wouldn't feel like, oh, I'm just less than. You forced the system that wasn't in line with their nature at the time, or in line with their history, or in line with the way they were brought up, and then you criticize them based on that. I mean, that's what's happening to every kid now.
Yep.
In a way.
Because it comes back to what we're saying. We're fucking individuals, man. And that's the beauty of human fucking nature, human life, the fact that we're all individuals, right? But you have a system that teaches them one way, right?
That's right.
It's not measured to suit an individual. My eldest daughter is a creative. She's got a big mind. She loves drawing, that's her thing, right? There's a certain way that when I talk to her and I teach her things, there's a certain way I talk to her.
Yeah.
But then my 8-year-old, I have a completely different way of teaching her, right?
Yeah, and they're sisters and they're the same genetics,
exactly.
but they're complete different individuals.
And my 8-year-old's sporty. She's a lot, she's the girl that doesn't want to wear makeup, right? So she went to her like school wrap-up party for the end of the year, right? Didn't want to wear. She wanted to wear trackies. She wore trackies and a t-shirt, and she goes, "I don't want to wear makeup. I hate makeup." My other daughter wore a beautiful dress, did her makeup, completely different, and I teach them differently, right? The beauty of them is their individuality.
Exactly.
I fucking love them both the same, and they're both different. How do you do that in a school when you got so many different personalities?
You don't. You give them a uniform, so they all become like robots, and then you'd kill their individuality at the start, right? They become soldiers for the industrial workforce.
Yep.
And that's what you're doing with them.
And
right?
That's why so many kids don't flourish in school.
You used to go to the idea with school was to be inspired by different ideas and be exposed to different thoughts and schools of thoughts and philosophies and different viewpoints that you might not even agree with. That was the beauty. And then you'd find yourself that was the beauty of that type of schooling. We're doing the opposite, right? And it's getting more and more the opposite. It's more boxed in. It's more, when I think on a PBD podcast they were talking about how out of 13 professors, they did a test in Harvard or whatever, like the higher schools, not high schools, but higher school of education, like universities of that caliber. Out of 13 people, 11 or 12 of the professors were liberals. One was conservative. So you had one professor who'd had a different idea to 12 professors.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so there's no variety of thought. There's no variety of ideas. And so you're going to school to make a certain type of person, and they come out, they don't even know. You're talking about your daughter being into arts. What they should do is, okay, you're really talented and you really like this particular thing. How do you monetize it? Let's teach you that. How do you make it a career? How do you make it a profession? Let's discipline you in it. Not just be like, let's go to art school and you draw for a little bit, but really do this other thing. No.
Mm.
Let's really push you towards that end. Wouldn't you take your kid to that school?
Fuck yeah.
You know, so parents are hungry for that.
Yeah.
You know, as a parent, I'm hungry for something, an education system that's like that. Montessori's education system created by a nun in Italy is the closest thing to that, where they look at you as an individual and they try it, but it's expensive. There's only one or two of them around in Australia, and it's because it's anti-established and anti-establishment in a sense by its nature, and they're not trying to create workforces. They're trying to create individuals. That's dangerous to corporations. That's competition to them, you know, and they don't like that. It's a competition to even government, to rules and laws. It's funny. Peer review science. That's a science that's agreed upon. But real science isn't theory. Real science is really going into a field and practicing. And in order for new science to come out, it can't be peer reviewed because it's new.
Yeah.
You can't just all agree on this. We all agree on this. Okay, it's peer reviewed. That's the stamp. No. New science cannot be peer reviewed. So you can't just throw it away and say that's a conspiracy. It has to be tested and trialed. That science happens in the field, whether it's the science of the arts or it's the science of, you know, maths or physics or whatever. So this peer review system has boxed the science in. So there's in every aspect of industry that happens, whether in the workforces. There's so many ways to alchemize in any industry, but those who do will thrive 100%, and those who don't will perish 100%. Unfortunately, if they perish, they take our economy and everything with them, because that's the system we're built upon. You know? So I'm hoping that this is a point of evolution, that we get tired of this and turn around and say, okay, let's do it better now, because this is not working anymore. And it's not a point of just hammering the old thing that doesn't work home and destroying our home with it. You know, we all know what's right and what's wrong deep inside, and we all know what we want. We generally want the same thing. We want health. We want health for our family. We want health for ourselves. We want a solid family. We want happiness in a sense of like abundance. We want to be able to have value in the world and be respected and create something that's worth giving to other people. We want to serve others. Like these are like general wants and needs of every human. We want networks, and we all know that. Okay, and internet has allowed us to realize that the person in Africa wants the same thing as I do. Oh, look at that. We're not that different. Okay, so now if we all come together and realize individually, I can't control what they're going to do, but I know what I want, and I'm going to go this direction, and I'm going to vote for this with my attention or with my money or with my voice, and they do that across the world, and everyone keeps doing that. All of a sudden, the world does become a better place, and quite instantly, actually. And it's so powerful. And we are going to realize this. I hope we don't have to go through the fire to do it. You know, because one way or another, the current will take you. That's my saying for tonight.
It's a good one to wrap up on. Nice saying.
I'll see you next time. I'm getting a little bit tired. My voice is going.
Yeah, I'm hitting the sack too.
All right, brother. Always a good chat. We are so not awkward.
Good night.